is happening, guys? It is Thursday, and we are at the Hack and Pack Shop. And you know, I've been reading some more comments, and so many of you are just fiending for a how-to video. I'm going to give it to you today. What time is it? It's noon. High noon. Actually, high noon 03. So what are we going to be working on, guys? Well, I figured I'd do just a nice, easy, simple job for you guys today, and if all goes well, by the end of the day, we'll be done with doing what we're doing. A 2000 Dodge Intrepid with 127,000 miles on it. Why is it here? You guys see why it's here. With the hood. Front bumper. A lot of you guys, I don't know how many emails I've gotten about this in the past. About my clear coat's peeling. Can I just clear it? Guys, I wish it was that easy because I would make a hell of a lot more money than I do today. I mean, look at it, guys. You can see factory clear here where it's peeled. You know, of course, it's white up underneath it where it's starting to lift. Alright. So the question, can I just re-clear a panel on my car? Hood, roof, trunk lids, whatever, door, fender, doesn't matter what the panel is. Can you do it? And will it look good? Answer, no. And I'm going to show you guys the best way I can show you without screwing myself for time today. Otherwise, I'd throw a little bit of clear in a gun and just clear part of this hood and show you. Unfortunately, guys, if I do that, it's going to screw my whole day up. I don't want to do that. But as what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you just an old school trick. Actually, let me get my wax and grease remover here. Old wise man a long time ago once told me, after you put on your base coat, after you do your body work, whatever you're doing, and you wipe down the side of the car with a clear liquid, before it dries, look down the side of it, and it's going to give you pretty much the result that you're going to be looking for when you're done painting the car. Alright? Whether you use water, wax and grease remover, those are the two common things to use. This freaking phone. Be right back. Alright, guys, sorry about that. Where was I? So after you're done doing body work on a car, a lot of us guys, or at least is what I used to do in the past, is go ahead and take some wax and grease remover. And wax and grease remover, when you use that, it's a wipe on, wipe off process. Okay? You wipe it on, it goes on really shiny, and it stays wet for a minute or two, and then it starts to evaporate away. Well, with the wax and grease remover, you wipe it on, and you immediately wipe it off. But say you did some body work on the door of this car, and it's in primer, and you think it's ready to be painted, and you're wiping the car down for paint, you take your wax and grease remover and you start using that on the panel. Well, while the wax and grease remover is still wet, you can actually take and look down the side of the panel, and if there's imperfections in it, you're going to see it because there's an actual gloss on that finish. Okay? Even before you paint, guys. It's an old trick. I learned it, God, when I was 15 years old, so we're talking 22 years ago. Okay? Just thought I'd share that with you. A lot of you guys that do body work for a living, I'm sure already know this. So we got wax and grease remover here, guys. Can's been laying around for about a year. I don't use a ton of this stuff, but I do use it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take a cloth here, and I'm going to pour some of this. I can do this holding the camera on the rag. I'll get the rag pretty good and wet. Alright. And this will also give you guys a result of what it would look like if you just went ahead and clear coated this panel in this car. Alright, so we're just going to wipe her down. And of course it's evaporating fast because I just drove this car 20 miles here. Alright, are we picking it up? That's what you're going to get, guys, for a result. Okay? I wish I could do this on a panel that wasn't warm. Maybe we could use the bumper. You can still see it, guys. That's what you're going to get if you clear it. Okay? Does it look better? Yep, it does, but you still have the problem. Okay? Can you clear the panel? Sure, you can clear it, and that's what it's going to look like when you're done. So you guys out there that want to do your own cars and your own trucks or whatever, try this trick. Try water. You can use water on it, as long as it's not out in the sun. and as long as there isn't wax on it to, let it beat off. But that's going to be your result. Okay, and a lot of you are thinking, well, okay, well, that's good enough for my car. Well, if that's good enough for your car, go ahead and do it. It's not good enough for my customer cars, though. Okay? That's what you're going to have. Alright, of course where the clear is, it's darker. Alright, because we've already started to lose pigments out of the base coat. The reason why we put clear coat on a vehicle is not to just give it gloss, it's to also protect the base coat finish. Okay, the color. The color is your base coat, guys. That's why the clear is put on, to protect that color. Otherwise, when you just spray base coat, this is what you get. Alright, you get a matte finish. Alright, a dull finish, semi-gloss. And that's it. Well, you let that sit out in the sun with no protection on it, it's going to start to fade away. Washing the car, doing whatever, eventually the paint's going to wear off the car. So that's why we clear coat cars, guys. It's not just for the gloss, it's to protect the paint. Okay? So hopefully that helps some of you. Now, a lot of you are like, well, gee, can I wet sand? Can I wet sand to clear off it? And then just clear the whole panel? You can try. Alright, but it's going to take you a freaking month. If you're already going to clear coat the panel, you might as well take and sand it, throw a few coats of base coat on it, and go ahead and clear the panel and do it half-ass right. Okay? You're already going to be masking the car off. You're already going to want to sand what's here to make the clear stick to it. Once you start sanding this paint, guys, it's gone. Alright? I think we got a piece of, what do I got here? 180. Let's go grab a piece of like 320, just so I can show you guys. Oh, where the hell is my roll of 320? Maybe it's in the box. I gotta get my other toolbox here, guys, so I can get all my sandpaper put in it. Of course, I just cleaned the shop, or half-ass cleaned it. There's a piece of 320. So all my used pieces are in the garbage. So we're going to take a brand new piece of 320. I'm just going to show you guys if I can peel this. It's kind of hard doing this stuff one-handed, guys. I'll set you guys up on some kind of a makeshift tripod when we get working now. Clamp you down to some vice grips. Alright, so there's clear here, obviously. It looks like pretty good clear yet. And then there's base coat here. Alright. So we're just going to sand this for a second. Alright, see how quick we burnt through? Right down to primer. Alright, now we're going to sand the clear. I'm going to use the other half of this half. You see how long I've been sanding? It still hasn't popped through the clear yet. Obviously the clear coat's a lot thicker. Alright, now I think we're just starting to pop through some clear. There we go. Well, maybe. We can pick it up here. Can you guys see where it's darker? Where it's lighter? Clear coat usually sands white, light gray, guys. Alright, see the color of the sanding powder? Alright. An enamel finish, a single stage finish, or base coat will sand whatever color that you're sanding. See what I mean? Green. See where we sanded there? White, except for I burnt through the green. Okay? Here. We'll do it on this corner so I can show you. See what I mean, guys? The difference? Alright, that's base coat, that's sanding clear coat. Alright, so you're thinking, well, can I feather edge this clear? Can I feather edge it and freaking re-clear everything? Okay, you could probably feather edge it. Alright, let's try this. We'll just try to feather edge a little bit here. I'm using 320, which is a coarser grit than what you want to use, but I don't have all day to sit here with 1,000 or 1,500 and do this. I'm trying to stay off of the base coat, guys. I'm just trying to get it so we can feather this clear out. Alright, where's you at? Again, I'm trying to stay right off that base coat. Alright, now you see how much time I spent on just that one little spot. Okay. Alright, we're starting to burn into the base now. If you look here, guys, the camera's going to pick it up. Looks like it is. See where that little bit of blue is, or a different color? Just trying to feather edge the clear, we burnt through it. Okay, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a mess. So I'm going to show you guys today on how to do this halfway right. We're not doing a perfect job. It's a dealer car. It's not paying very much, like most of them. Okay. We're going to do a little blend on the tops of these fenders, or maybe the whole fenders, I don't know. Maybe I'll just say screw it and just freaking tape the hood and just shoot the hood and the bumper, like what I'm getting paid to do, instead of blending panels. Alright, this stripe here is pretty screwed. So I'll probably just freaking tape it and just shoot just the hood. I'm thinking maybe the hood's been done. I'm not sure. Looking at the condition of the clear coat on the fender, the condition of the clear coat on the hood, something else has been painted on the car. Okay? Possible I'm wrong, because the condition of the clear is good shape here. Probably factory paint. But this is a taped on stripe here. The other side it's actually painted on, so I'm guessing at least this side of the car has been painted. Okay? So anyway, guys, we're going to DA it. We're going to pop this emblem off here. Okay, hopefully we won't break it, because these emblems are just pieces of crap. It's almost impossible to take those emblems off without breaking them. I'm probably going to pop this license plate cover off. Headlights are going to stay in the car. Fog lights will stay in the car. Alright, again, we're getting paid minimal here. We're going to take the squirters out. Alright. And then we're going to get to town. So let me get some stuff together and we'll start working. First thing we're going to do, guys, is take this emblem off. I just have a regular little cheap X-Acto knife here. Sometimes I can salvage these emblems by using one of these knives. And we'll just cut it off, if I don't break the blade. These actually work really well for side emblems, the emblems with the writing on them. Alright, there we are, guys. That one's off. Throw this inside of the car, but right now I'm not going to. Next thing we're going to do is take this license plate bracket off, so we got to see what's holding this on. Looks like just some flathead screws here. So we'll go ahead and pop that off. We'll grab a flathead screwdriver. I realized I had you guys on super zoom here. There we go. So we're going to pop this off. It's easier to remove some stuff than mask it, guys. You also get a cleaner job. What time is it over there? It's about 20 after 12, so it gives you guys an idea of roughly how long something like this takes. Of course, guys, you want to put the stuff in the car so you don't lose it. Nuts, bolts, parts, whatever you can get in there, try to put them in the car. Because at least if they're with the car, I guess this door doesn't work. Try that. There we go. So we have our emblem, we have our plate frame, we have our screws. Sitting on the back seat. Going to be hard to lose it there unless I do a little bit of lovin's in the back seat of this car, and I highly doubt it. Alright, next step. What do we do next, guys? what you want to do, I usually just use some like cheap 2-inch masking tape. We're going to run over the tops of these fenders real quick. Okay? I'm going to push it down firmly, and I'm going to peel it up. And it looks like the clear coat's staying on the car, but maybe not. See, this is a good step to do, guys. Especially before you start sanding and painting. Okay? Because you don't want to paint the car and freaking have the clear coat peel off. It looks like we're actually good here. It was just a little bit of crap on this fender. And also a good reason for this tape, if you slip with a DA, you're not going to take the paint off the fender. Okay? Same thing with the tops of the headlights. Anything you don't want to hit with that sander that's close, you better cover it up. Rather see, $1 worth of tape wasted than freaking screw up a brand new headlight or good paint or whatever on a car. Granted, these headlights are crap, but you guys get the gist of it. Alright, so we're just doing a little pre-taping here. Okay? Can you see me? Alright, move you over here. Do the same thing on this side. Tape up. Tape is clean. I've learned my lesson over the years, guys. You have a panel that's peeling. You go and mask it off. You go to pull the paper off it when you're all done painting. The panel that you put the tape on is peeling. Then what happens? Now that you've put everything away, you're all done with your job, now you got to spray the panel for free. When you could have just made it a blend panel and been done with it. Okay? So we got enough tape on here now to protect some stuff. Alright, these fog lights, we're not going to worry about those right now because we're going to stay out of that for now. Alright? It's not peeling down here, so it's probably what I'll do. And the lower fog lights, if you can see me here. A lot of this is good, so we'll probably just do a lot of hand sanding and Scotch-briting and things like that. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about protecting those, but where I'm going to be running the DA, yes, it needs to be protected. So let me go, my phone's beeping, got to put it on a charger. All right, let me go throw the phone on a charger, grab the DA, and we'll start sanding. Alright guys, so I got some, I got to put a new fitting on this hose already. This one's only like 2 months old, but anyway, got 180 on the DA. So what I'm going to concentrate first, guys, is where the clear coat is. We're going to try to knock that down first. Okay, we're going to burn into the base coat. We're going to ruin it. It's okay. But I like to concentrate first on doing the major areas. Okay, clear coat's peeling here where there's actually still some clear left. We'll hit what they call the high spots first, the high spots in the paint. Okay, so let me go ahead and do some of that. Guys, so you see here we obviously hit bare metal. We're through primer, we're through the factory eco, we're through everything, right down to bare metal. You guys are saying, well, can you use a coarser grit? You can, yeah. You can use 80 grit if you want. But the thing is once that sandpaper hits this bare metal, 80 grit's going to leave scratches into that metal. Alright? 180's also going to leave scratches, but they're a lot finer, and the primer will easily cover that. Okay? Like I said, this is a budget job. I don't want to put epoxy primer on this hood. Alright? I'd really like to just DA everything, seal the hood, and then paint it. That's what I'm after with this, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep going, feather edging this. We got glue here, obviously, that's got to come off it, okay, from the emblem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to feather edge all this. We'll keep an eye on the time, okay? And when we get to the next step, we'll fire the camera back up. Alright guys, we can see that it's about 10 minutes to 1 o'clock. This is how far we've gotten in, what, 45 minutes? A little less than that. Everything's feathered out, guys, including on the bumper where it needs it, okay? This is a very important step too. Of course, your dual action sander, the DA, which is this, for you guys that don't know what this is, okay? You can't get into all these deep nooks and crannies with a DA. You have to hand sand, okay? This is what I usually do. Granted, I have a half-beat piece of 180 here. Fold it in half, put it in a roll, and you get right down in those cracks really good. You want to make sure all that clear coat's out of those cracks, guys. Because if you don't, when you go to put the primer on, if you're using a lacquer primer, it may wrinkle it up. Or the new paint you put on in 6-8 months might start peeling there, because obviously we had a clear peeling problem. So you want to make sure you get in there really good and get all that stuff sanded out, okay? Another thing you can do too, we've got this all sanded down with 180 grit, okay? And like I said, guys, I don't want to put a real thick primer on it. I'm probably just going to use the cheaper lacquer-based primer, or acrylic as they call it, okay? So what I'm going to do to eliminate as much shrinkage as possible, and shrinkage, I mean, a lot of times, guys, if you go ahead and paint a car and you feather edge all this stuff out of here and you prime it and you go ahead and paint it too fast, after that paint starts to cure, all this is going to show back up. It might not show up in color unless you, of course, don't put the color on it, but you're going to see like little bit of wrinkle, all right, or shrinkage, as I should say, around all these areas. So the more sanding you do before you prime, the better off you're going to be. So we're going to knock all these scratches down from 180 grit down to 320 grit. The primer will very easily fill those light scratches. Then we can go ahead and prime it, and then we can let the primer sit for a little while. Maybe is what I'll do is I'll prime it, I'll go down to Napa and pick up my paint, okay? I'll let the car sit outside while I'm making, you know, my little quick run. I'm going to pull the car back in. It should have shrunk up close to enough anyway, and then I'll go ahead and just hand sand this down with 320, and then we can go ahead and paint the car. So I'm going to grab the DA, guys. Same step as before, okay, with the DA, with the power sander. With 320 grit, we'll hand sand everything with 320. Now, if you guys look here, I did not sand back here, okay? This is all going to be what they call Scotch-brited. I'm going to Scotch-brite all this because we are going to blend the bumper out here. Okay, this bumper has been painted before. The hood, I don't know. Okay, but the bumper sure has been done. And there is a little teeny bit of a color difference here. The bumper is just a touch darker, but we're not going to worry about that, guys. Like I said, this is a low-budget job. I think I'm getting paid 200 and something bucks, 225, 200, something like that to do all this work. It's not a lot, but it's a half a day's worth of work, guys, and $50 in material. So it's not so bad. It's better than doing nothing at all. Okay, if this was a retail job, I'd be getting $300 to do this, maybe $400, but it's a dealer. So we got to charge a little bit less so we can keep the volume of work coming in, okay? A lot of you guys are sitting back in your chair that work at body shops and say you're freaking insane. Guys, I know that. You don't ever see me complaining that I do not have work, though. I've got the work, okay? Granted, I should charge a little bit more, but if he bought this car at the auction because he knew that I would paint the front end of this car cheap, okay? Say I charged him $300, I told him $300 to do all this work, he probably would have passed on the deal. He would have bought something that didn't need the work for just a couple hundred more. You guys get where I'm going with this? He buys stuff just to specifically bring it here, okay? So if I charge too much, he's going to pass it on and buy one that doesn't need the work, okay? I need the work. That's why I do things cheap. The bills are getting paid, so we're not getting much further ahead than that, but it's better than, you know, what a lot of people can say also. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 320. I'm going to 320 this down with a DA, and then we'll go ahead and get this thing masked off and prep for primer. We'll back it outside while I'm going to Napa. We'll let the primer dry out in that hot sun. We'll bring it back in, start sanding it. While I'm sanding it, it'll cool off. Then we'll resand it, and then we can go ahead and get the paint on it. All right, another important step, guys, is Scotch-brite, and this is just a little corner I ripped off of one. But like I showed you earlier, this is going to be a blend area. Okay, there'll probably be a little bit of color on it. We're not going to worry about it. But what you want to do is you want to make sure all this stuff is scratched up. Okay? I mean, you could, if you wanted to, 320 all this with DA paper or whatever. But regardless, it's got to get scuffed up. Okay? Like I said, I'll probably mist a little bit of color over this area. But you can't just blend paint or paint at all over a shiny surface because it will peel. Alright? You want to get down in all these little nooks and crannies really good. You might have to wad up your Scotch-brite a little bit or do what you got to do. But you want to definitely get in all those little nooks and crannies. You don't want this sucker to peel in a few weeks. Okay? Use a pretty good firm pressure. I'm using a red Scotch-brite. I mean, you probably should use gray, especially for like silvers and golds. But we're not doing a silver or gold car, we're doing a green car. So the red works just fine. You want to be very thorough with this, guys. This is very important. You want it dull. See how that's dull? That's what you want. Okay? Shiny, dull. Alright? Like around these fog lights and things. I mean, the 100% right way to do this would be to remove this stuff. But we're not getting paid to do that, guys. But you want to definitely get up in there and get that stuff sanded as much as possible. No shiny. See, like right here where it's shiny? You don't want that, guys. Wad that little thing up and sand the hell out of it. Because that's the first place it'll start to peel, is in areas like that. Alright? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish Scotch-briting this. I'm going to go ahead and rip the tape off it. We're going to blow this thing off, and then we'll start taping it off, or masking it off. Alright guys, now what you want to do, you want to take some air. You want to blow all this dirt and dust off it before you go ahead and start priming or doing anything else. Tape does not stick to dust or dirt. Okay, nothing does. So I just use a little nipple. I can't find my blow gun. So I'm just going to go ahead and blow and kind of half-ass wipe this thing as I'm blowing it off. And then we'll go ahead and start taping it. Got 90% of the dust and dirt blown off it, so we can go ahead and start taping this thing. So what we're going to do, guys, I actually got to go down to Napa. I have to get some 2-inch tape. I got some out of it. I have very little left. So what I'm going to do is actually back tape this hood. Alright, we're going to tape the tape onto the inside of the hood and come out with it. Okay, therefore you're not getting any dirt or dust down into these cracks, so when you go ahead and paint it, it's not going to blow all that crap out of there, circulate around, and end up in your paint. So let me see, guys, if I do have some 2-inch. I thought I had some more, but I'm going to have to hunt around Alright guys, I did find a little bit here, so we'll just use it till we run out. What I'm going to do is back take the edges of this hood, all except for the front edge. Okay? Only because we have to paint the bumper. If we weren't painting the bumper, I'd go ahead and back tape the whole thing and drop the paper around, but we can't because we're doing the front bumper. So, let's go down the sides of it with 2 inch. You want to leave as much exposed as possible on the outside edge, so usually I go in about a 1/2 inch. On the inside edge of the hood, that leaves us about 1.5 inches, roughly, of exposed tape for our paper to stick to it. Go along the back side. And what I'll do too, guys, is we'll take the 2 inch and I'll go across the tops of the headlights and things like that. Around the inside edge of this bumper so we don't have overspray in there. And while the hood's open, go ahead and get these corners of these headlights. A little easier with the hood open to do this. Try to tuck that tape in there the best you can too. Alright guys, something like that. Now we have all this tape, hopefully you can see it, and our paper can stick right to that. So let me go grab the paper tree. That's what I usually do, guys, is take some 3/4 inch and just go right over the top, just to make sure it sticks down. If you do this, it's going to eliminate a lot of dust. I will try to set you up here so you can see the side a little bit. Got to get creative in how I get you guys down here. Hopefully that'll work. Something like that. The less wrinkles you have in the paper too, that's the less nooks and crannies you're going to have for dust to collect. Keep that in mind. Always try to tape as tight as you can. Alright, this one I'm just kind of winging it here. Going quick. It's not a show car by any means. Grab the tire covers. Go. Usually I'll do these headlights with 2-inch tape, but we're almost out of 2-inch tape. So we're going to use 6-inch masking paper. Alright guys, so about half of our taping is officially done. Okay, that's pretty much what you want to see. Okay, then we'll go ahead and cover the rest of the car up with plastic to prevent overspray from getting all over the glass and the rest of the car's finish. So I'm going to go ahead and shut you off for a second, finish taping, and then we'll lay some primer on this thing. Alright guys, everything's all taped off. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and take this wax and grease remover again, and I'm going to saturate this rag, and we're going to wipe on, wipe off immediately. Alright guys, I mean this thing's about dripping. Alright. You immediately want to wipe this right off. Otherwise it will leave a residue and it can cause fish eyes. Now the windshield wiper squirters, I didn't take those all the way out. I unclipped them, pushed them up in the hood, and left the hoses hooked up because it looks like they're going to be a pain in the butt to hook back up. So they're loose here guys, if you can see it, with the hoses still hooked up. Just trying to save a few minutes. That's what you got to do when you do this kind of work. Sometimes you got to skip a step, guys. At least you'll have a good clean surface here. That's very important. You want stuff to stick. And this car did just come from the auction recently, so it has been detailed. So it's probably got Armor All, things like that on it. And Armor all that stuff, any silicone-based products, oil, petroleum-based products will cause fish eyes. It's bad news. I just use old dishcloths. Seems to work out pretty well for me. You don't have to spend all the money on expensive rags, but old clean washed dishcloths seem to work just fine. You gotta work with this stuff fast, guys, especially today. It's humid out. It's probably about 80 degrees, 80 something here in the shop. definitely about 6-7 degrees warmer in the shop than it is outside, but I got the place all cooped up so you guys can actually watch the video without having too much sun glare. So I'm sweating for you. Okay guys, there we go. We're all ready for primer. I'm going to go ahead, I actually think the primer's already in the gun. So we'll go ahead and start laying the primer on it. Alright, let's prime it up. I'm going to go clean the tip on this gun so I can actually really put some primer on it. I'll be right back. Alright guys, just clean up the gun. Actually, here's some red primer in it. Darker color, we're putting a darker color on the car. Less paint. Alright guys, we're going to let that sit for a little while. It's 1:45. I'm going to go down and get some paint. Alright guys, got a piece of 320 DA paper, the same one we used for our little whatever, showing you guys how to, you know, that you can't really do anything with that clear coat. You guys know where I'm at. Anyway, just going to lightly hand sand all this. Alright, I mixed the primer thin. I did put a second coat on it after I shut the camera off. I just want to knock the nibs off it. And we'll go ahead and Scotch-brite it. And then I'm going to freaking shoot the son of a bitch. And holy shit, that was some damn good cheesecake. Guys, like I said before, this is not a perfect car. I just ashed in my freaking primer. It's alright though. We're not shooting for perfection on this job. This is quick, wham, bam. Alright, if this car was gonna, you know, actually, this job would pay well, I would be using the epoxy primer on it. It would be sitting overnight. Okay? But it's not. This is a quick in and out job. Some of you say you don't do it right, don't do it at all. Well, guess what, guys? This isn't 100% right, but it's a lot better right than what the hell it was. If you don't like it, turn the freaking channel. It is what it is. jobs I gotta do by volume, guys. That's the only way you're gonna make money doing dealer work. You gotta do it by volume, you gotta get it in, you gotta get it out, you gotta cut some corners. Unfortunately, it's what you gotta do. You can't get no more honest than that. Alright, so basically that's what you want to do. Nice and smooth. Okay? Get it all so it's scratched up nice. 320, you can use 400, you can use 600 if you want. You can wet sand it if you want. Alright, I'm just dry sanding it. I don't want the thing all wet because I'm going to be painting in a few minutes. Just hand sanding this stuff down, getting it leveled out. Then when we're done, we'll blow it off, we'll wipe it down again, we'll tack cloth it, and we'll go ahead and shoot it. Alright guys, she's all sanded down. We're going to go ahead and blow this son of a bitch off. Put some wax and grease remover on her one more time, wipe her down, get the paint mixed up, tack it off, and we'll shoot it. Alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lay down one quick coat of black base. It might not cover all the way, it might. The only reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because I only bought a pint of paint to do the hood and bumper of this car, and a pint of paint is pushing it, okay? So I'm going to lay down some black because it's a dark color. Okay, and then we'll go right over the top of the black with the green. One on one. Alright guys, now I'm going to go load the gun up with some green. Alright guys, gun's loaded. We're going to start laying some green out. it sit for a few minutes and tack up, then we'll go ahead and give it another coat. Alright guys, I just laid another coat on it too, so we've actually put 2 on it now. Looks like it's covering pretty good, and I'm going to go for a 3rd. Now just so you guys know, I mean, I didn't fix any dents in the hood. Okay, there's a couple little dents. Yeah, like that. Another one there somewheres. Okay, like I said guys, it's a low budget job. We're just kind of banging it out real quick. Alright, get it in, get it out. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 3rd coat on. Okay, and then we're going to let it sit. Again, that's what I did earlier. I actually pulled a little tape here to see how good our color matches. I put a little patch in here, so we'll just peel some more back again. The color to me actually looks a little dark, and I did, just for this last coat, lighten it up. Okay? I mean, maybe with the clear coat it will lighten up a little bit. I don't want to lighten it up too much though. But I do have enough left over, so if it came down to it, I could blend the tops of these fenders in, alright, as an aftermath. Usually I always blend them in, but I'm kind of trying to bang this one out so we can get it done. So we're going to take a chance with it. So I'm going to let it sit, guys. I'll go ahead and load the gun up for some clear. Alright guys, it's cleared up. Alright guys, now the first coat of clear's on it. Now I didn't put it on real heavy. It's got some stripes in it, things like that. So usually what I do is let it tack up for a few minutes, and then I'll go ahead and pound another coat on it, and then we'll take it from there. Okay? So we're going to let this cure up for a few minutes till it gets sticky, and then I'll go ahead and pound one more coat on it, and then we'll see what it looks like. Alright guys, at these temperatures we got about a 2-minute time lapse here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, and it looks like we got a bug in this son of a bitch. Freaking bug, man. Alright, I'll try to pick that son of a bitch out of there. Alright, got him. So I'm going to crank the pressure up a little bit and we're going to let her eat. Back up, ran out. All right, guys, there we go. She's got a little bit of crap in her, but not too bad. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow, out in the daylight, or even a little bit later today. I may buff it, I may not. Again, low budget job. Okay, what time is it? 5 after 3. What time we start? 5 after 12. 3 hours. Plus, I went and got paint and ate a kick-ass piece of cheesecake. So there you go, guys. I hope it's a little bit helpful for you. Okay, that's what you got to go through to fix clear coat peeling. All right, it's just what you got to do. All that work. Okay, but look at the end result. It's much better than trying to, half-ass it. Granted, this isn't 110% perfect, but if you're looking to do something in your garage at home and you want your car to look better, guys, this is the perfect video for you. That's what I base these videos upon. Guys that work in body shops, own body shops, they already know what they're doing. They don't need to watch my videos. Guys like you guys that are working in your garage, these are what these videos are for, guys. So hope you enjoyed. Y'all have a goody-goody. And we'll talk to you guys later. See you guys.